Well, you heard it here first, folks. Bitcoin has finally pushed over $50,000 for the first time. Happened just about 20 minutes ago. We're going to talk briefly about that in today's video, but we're also going to talk about an industry that has been hit very hard by the pandemic in the last year. Welcome back, guys, to the Independent Experience. I'm IndyXP Bullion, and this is your morning market wake-up call for Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. I don't know what the weather's doing in your area, but here it is blustery, it is snowy, it is blowing and drifting, and you shovel and it just blows back, and you shovel more and it blows back. We had like 12 inches of snow here in Indianapolis. I don't know what the official total was, but all the weather models were showing that we were supposed to get between 11 and 14 inches of snow. So it's blowing and drifting, and it took me about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half to get home last night. It only took me an hour to get into the office, into the studios today. So hopefully you guys are safe where you're at. Make sure you bundle up. Put extra food and water in your car in case you get stranded. Pack some extra coats and be safe out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the markets and see where we're starting today off at. Gold is down, currently at 1817.65, but silver is up currently at 27.61. That gives us a ratio of 65.84. Platinum is up significantly at 1307.70, and palladium is steady at 2421.50. Rhodium is at 21,300. Copper is up currently at $3.82. Nickel also up at $8.37. Aluminum up at 94 cents. Zinc is up at $1.27, and lead is up at 95 cents. Barrels of crude oil did spend a lot of time yesterday over the $60 mark. It is back down, though, currently at $59.65. Wall Street was closed yesterday for President's Day. It is going to be starting the short trading week off. Dow Jones will be starting off at 31,458.40. The NASDAQ will be starting off at a record high of 14,095.47. And the S&P 500 will be starting off at 39,34.83. We have seen a decline in the U.S. dollar index. That is down currently at 90.25. Like I mentioned, Bitcoin finally has gone over $50,000. Did not take very long for it to get there, but it did take a little bit of a push to get it over the hump. It was at, 7:33 this morning, Eastern Standard Time, so only about 23 minutes ago, we did see that go over. Almost made it to 51,000 actually, but then immediately it came back down. Currently, Bitcoin is at 49,738.21. And if you happen to exchange a gold back today, whether that be the Utah or the Nevadan, those are exchanging at $3.21. We may see a penny decline in that when their market opens. So, I did allude at the beginning of the video that we are going to be talking about an industry that has been hit very hard by the shutdowns due to the pandemic here in the United States. This comes to us off the wire from Reuters. This is titled, "French Wine Exports Sour on U.S. Tariffs and COVID-19 Crisis." U.S. tariffs and coronavirus restrictions that shut down restaurants, bars, and airport duty-free stores in many countries wiped 13.9% of revenues off of French wine and spirits exports last year, industry group FEVS. Oh, excuse me. I felt that tickle coming. Sorry, guys. Sales abroad of wines and spirits, France's second biggest export after the aerospace industry, fell by 2 billion euros to 12.1 billion euros, or $14.7 billion, the Federation of French Wine and Spirits Exporters said on Thursday. Quote, "We expect activity to pick up in 2021, said Deputy Chairman Antoine Lecia, at a news conference. There is some light at the end of the tunnel with vaccination campaigns. Shipments to the United States, the largest overseas market for French wines and spirits, and one which represents a quarter of all such exports, slumped 18% to 3.1 billion euros, or roughly $4 billion in 2020. French wine and spirits exports had jumped in 2019 as exporters booked sales ahead of the imposition of U.S. tariffs. The U.S. government imposed additional duties on certain European Union products, including wines from France, as part of a 17-year battle over aircraft subsidies between Washington and the EU. Quote, "The U.S. market remains the symbol of a year marked by trade tensions and the COVID-19 epidemic," the FEVS said. It added that finding a solution to the conflict was urgent. In 2021, French still exports wine, excluding French will still. Well, I think this was written by someone in France, because this is very broken English. I'm doing my best here, guys. In 2021, France will still export wines, excluding. Let's see. Including, this is really bad. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to read this the way that it should have been written. In 2021, France will still export wines, including spirits such as cognac, to the United States, and likely fall 1.1 billion euros, the FEVS chairman Cesar Garon forecasted. The global pandemic broke out in China on the eve of the Chinese New Year, hitting consumption during the festival period and causing exports to China to fall 15%. Sales in Singapore and Hong Kong fell 31% and 6% respectively, FEVS said. A rise in consumption at home only partly compensated for the closures of bars, restaurants, and airport shops, it said. Global exports of champagne and cognac, by far the largest wine and spirits exported, both lost more than 20% in sales last year. FEVS said that it hoped for a better 2021, providing the pandemic eased, with some positive signs in some countries in the last quarter of 2020. So, one of France's biggest exports has been hampered drastically by the pandemic and the tariffs that the United States has placed on it. And of course, I work in an industry, cabinets, countertops, granite quartz, that was heavily impacted by tariffs. It was so hard to get materials in, and the materials that were coming in did have a rise in price because those manufacturers of quartz in particular had to spend money to shift their production facilities out of China into other places with lower tariffs like Vietnam, India, Spain. Just everything from China in a lot of industries was impacted. So it's, they were using this more as a tool. We all know what tariffs are. Tariffs are means for U.S. businesses to gain an upper hand and make a more even playing field. Things in China that come from China are obviously produced a lot cheaper, and in a lot of cases, it is cheaper to mine a rock out of the ground, put it in a shipping container, and bring it over to America than it is to dig a rock out of the ground here in America. Because our cost of labor is higher, obviously. There's a lot of regulations here in America. This is just in the industry that obviously I know, but this goes for any industry. The reason why they place these tariffs on there is so that you can know that if you're getting into an industry here in America, you're going to have a more even playing field because of the tariffs. So people that import items from other countries pay the tariff to get them here, and they end up having to make the same amount of money. They have to sell it more. They have to sell it at a higher price. So Are we seeing more wine produced here in America? No, because, well, quite frankly, the wineries are all shut down. Trust me, I know because I love wine. So a little known fact, obviously, we've talked about it probably in the past on my channel. I grew up in a winery. So, this was an interesting article for me, at least, in the very least. So I hope that you guys found it interesting as well. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about tariffs, not just on, say, wine and spirit and cognac and champagne imports from France, but other products. Maybe an industry that you're a part of. Let us know down in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say on that topic. Guys, I do greatly appreciate every single one of you, and I have to appreciate me. I had too much coffee this morning. All right, take two. If you happen to appreciate old IndyXP bullion, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button for me right there. It helps me out immensely in defeating the evil YouTube algorithms. If you happen to want to keep up to date on when all my latest and greatest content comes out, make sure you hit the subscribe and jingle bell right there in the corner, bing bong, so you can keep notified of when that content comes out. Of course, I didn't have a video yesterday because I was driving in a snowstorm and got to work a little late. So yeah, we're back on a regular schedule now. These videos come out around 8, 8:15, 8:30 every single day during the week, and sometimes on the weekends too. You never know. If you want to catch up on the back catalog, you want to go ahead and hit the box over here. This is going to be the gateway to that back catalog. These videos are like 435 videos strong now. You can get caught up to date by watching those at your heart's content at the end of this video. Guys, I have been IndyXP Bullion from the Independent Experience, and I'm here again to remind you, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find your pockets heavy.